Right now, as you're listening to this, there's a massive hidden battle being fought all over the internet. It's basically a digital heist, and the target is a prize pool that's worth over $1 trillion. So today we're going to pull back the curtain and see what's really happening to your ad budget.
Okay, let's just start with this number, $1.16 trillion. This isn't just a random figure. This is the forecast for how much money is going to be spent on digital ads globally in 2025. That is the prize pool for the story we're about to unpack. It's huge.
But to really get what's at stake here, don't just think of it as a number on a screen. Picture it like a giant digital vault, and it's filled with the money that advertisers, hey, maybe even you, are putting online hoping to grow their businesses. And, anytime there's a vault that big, it's going to attract some very, very clever thieves.
And here's where it gets kind of crazy. A huge chunk of that vault, it's already compromised. A deep dive analysis of billions of clicks and impressions found that more than 1 out of every 5 visitors clicking on an ad, well, they're not a real person. They're not genuinely interested. There's something else entirely.
So who's behind all this? Who's responsible for this staggering number? Well, we're talking about a phenomenon that quietly siphons off marketing budgets and totally messes with your performance data. It has a name: click fraud.
So what does that actually mean in plain English? At its core, click fraud is just when clicks on your ads are faked, with the specific goal of stealing money from your ad budget. So that click isn't from a potential new customer. Nope, it's a weapon, and it's designed to make you pay for absolutely nothing.
And these, let's call them digital thieves, they really come in 2 main flavors. On one hand, you've got the amateurs. This could be a rival business or maybe an unhappy ex-employee just sitting there manually clicking your ads over and over to drain your budget for the day. But then you have the professionals. These are organized groups using incredibly sophisticated bots and AI to commit fraud on a massive automated scale.
And here's the thing. These thieves, they're not standing still. This whole digital heist is getting more and more sophisticated every single year. They're using the same kind of advanced tech that we all use to build our businesses, but they're using it against us.
So, if we look ahead to 2025, there are 3 major trends you've got to watch. First up, AI-powered bots are becoming masters of disguise. They can perfectly copy human browsing habits, mouse movements, everything, just to slip past basic defenses. Second, the battle is moving to your phone. Criminals are targeting mobile apps where the security is often way weaker. And third, the fraud is getting geo-specific. These criminal networks are focusing their attacks on high-value markets where the clicks cost more.
And wow, when we look specifically at mobile, the problem just explodes. The invalid traffic rate for in-app advertising is a staggering 41.89%. Just think about that. That is more than double the rate you see on the web. It just shows you how vulnerable the mobile world really is right now.
Okay, so what's the real-world cost of all this? What's the actual impact of all this fake traffic on your campaigns and on your company's bottom line? Let's take a look at the damage.
To really wrap your head around this, just imagine for a second you own a physical brick-and-mortar store. This number is like having 1 out of every 5 people who walk through your front door be a mannequin. Yeah, a mannequin. They look like customers, they get counted as visitors, but they will never, ever buy anything.
And here's what happens when those mannequins get inside. The average bot, it sticks around for just 26 seconds. Compare that to a real user who stays for over 3 minutes. The bots just click, arrive, and they're gone. They give you 0 engagement, 0 value, and they totally poison your data.
And this right here, this is the bottom line. Nearly 10% of the conversions you think you're getting, the leads, the signups, the sales, they are completely fake, fabricated by bots. And that means your ROI calculations are wrong. Your whole strategy might be based on successes that never actually happened.
So now that we've seen the heist in action, let's talk about the good news. And there is good news. You don't have to just sit there and be a victim. You can absolutely build a security system to fight back and protect that ad spend. It really comes down to a simple 3-step playbook. First, you've got to use specialized fraud detection tools that can automatically spot and block these bots before they even hit your site. Second, get smarter with your targeting. You can limit your exposure in high-risk areas and put a cap on how many times one user can click your ad. And third, you have to become a detective with your own data. Watch your metrics like a hawk for all those telltale signs of an attack. And hey, to make it even more practical, here's a checklist you can use. Start by excluding IP addresses from known bot networks. That's a big one.
Use AI-powered tools that can spot those weird, non-human behaviors. Make it a habit to do regular traffic audits to keep your data clean. And finally, demand transparency from your ad platforms. You deserve to know where your money is actually going.
You know, when it's all said and done, it really boils down to this simple truth. You can't fight an enemy you can't see. Click fraud loves the shadows. It feeds on budgets that aren't being watched closely. By simply being aware of the threat, by seeing it, you've already taken the biggest and most important step to beating it.
And that brings us to one last thought to leave you with. Right now, this very second, your ads are probably live somewhere on the internet, getting clicks. So the question you really need to ask yourself is, do you know who or what is really on the other side of that click?